Next member. Call the member for Coomera.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise to make a contribution to the Economics and Governance Committee report on the State Penalties Enforcement Modernisation Amendment Bill 2022, and of course also the actual bill itself. And I mentioned the report because it was interesting to review as I was looking through all of the Hansard reporting on the questioning of witnesses and some of the tactics that were taken by, in particular, the member for Logan as the chair. Indeed, he spent quite a bit of time, in fact almost all of the time that he spent questioning witnesses, he spent asking them about the risk, and not worrying about the reward aspect of it. And he was always talking about the short-term risk and not the long-term risk-reward scenario. And if you have a look through, well, I don't have time to quote all of the matters from the chair of the committee, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times he brought up the risk, the short-term risk, and not the risk-reward ratio or the long-term risk. And I just make that point before I turn to the bill. And I was asking myself all the way through this, I turned my mind to what is their game? What is the Treasurer's game? What's he getting out of this $1 billion that's sitting on the balance sheet? Where's the deal? Where does he get the return or the reward? And I realised they know a good deal when they see it. The long term, they've got $1 billion in the coffers that they can invest for the long term. This is a trust. This is $1 billion that will always continue to grow as interest, as rents increase, etc. The rent bond fund will continue to grow, and they've got $1 billion+ sitting there now. And if we just look, don't worry about what the Queensland Investment Corporation would necessarily do with the funds, investing in private equity, etc. And the returns, the much bigger returns that QIC aim for, let's just look at what you would get if you were in Q Super. Q Super returns in a balanced fund 8.04% over the last 10 years. 8.04. What does it cost to run the RTA? The whole shooting match, I think it was something around $40 million. 8.04 of $1 billion. There's more than $80 million of return just in a balanced fund in Q Super. And if you do look at the short term, the return was 1 year for the balanced fund 3.3%, 3 years 5.37%, 5 years 6.37%. And let's remember, we were smack bang in the middle of a pandemic during that period of time. But the 10-year return, 8.04%. So I put it to you, members, I put it to you, Madam Deputy Speaker, that what the deal is here, what they want is to take away the opportunity for the RTA to take those long-term returns, because they are forever returns, take the long-term returns and use them to benefit the renters in Queensland over and above the $40 million that it's costing to run the show, to use them for them, or even indeed, God forbid, pay the interest back to the people that have got their $800, $1,200, $1,500 bond in the fund. Instead of that, they get to keep everything over and above what it costs them to run the fund. I'm going to leave my contribution there. That's the game this Treasurer is playing. He wants all of the returns of the $1 billion and ever-growing $1 billion. It'll be $2 billion one day, and so it'll go on. He wants all of those returns and give them a peppercorn amount of money to run their funds and not run their operation, and not give them an opportunity to do anything more than that.
Member, before you take your seat, I'll ask that you move that the debate be now adjourned.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I move that the debate be now adjourned.
Thank you. The question is that the debate be now adjourned. Those of that opinion say aye. Those against no. I think the ayes have it. The House will now break and return at 2 p.m.